Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
I'm Luka Doncic, and this is Locked On Mavericks podcast.
The Dallas Mavericks are NBA champions. Bang! Bang! It's good! And the Mavericks have won the game!
If you don't believe, you shouldn't be here.
And welcome. You are locked on to the Dallas Mavericks. My name is Nick Angstadt, media member and coordinator for the Locked On Podcast Network. And joining me, as always, my co-host, contributor at Mavs.com, Frustrated Fred, the one more thinking. What you got for me, Isaac Harris?
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, boy.
You know what I thought about in this game? Well, one, I thought about it would help if I hit record on my side. But I thought about when Dallas didn't play their stars against OKC, an easy win, and we lost, and everyone freaked out and was like, no, you better play the best players against these easy wins. And just goes to show you there's no easy wins in the NBA.
Not everything is given. Nothing is given in the NBA for sure. On today's show, Isaac and I will break down the Dallas Mavericks 102-93. 93 points against the Houston Rockets. 93 loss to the Houston Rockets. What it means, what went on, and we got to hear from Kristaps Porzingis because there was some strange stuff going on in this game. And afterwards, he talked about it very briefly, but I think his comment was pointed, and I think his facial expression was pointed. And so if you're not watching us on YouTube, at least if you're listening to the podcast, go to the YouTube video and just watch the first beginning when we hear Kristaps Porzingis' comments, because you want to see his face. You want to see what he's looking like, because it was very interesting to me. Porzingis.
This is a part about YouTube that sucks, is I can't hide my facial expressions when
we love
happen.
it. That's what we need. That's what we need. We want to see what you think and what you feel. By the way, if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, I don't know how many more of you there are left. 1,500 subscribed to our YouTube channel already. Thank you guys so much. The Raccoon Squad showing up. Our videos are exponentially growing. We're just really thankful for you guys jumping in that. You can also follow us on Twitter at Nick Van Exit, at Isaac L. Harris, and at Locked On Mavs as well. All right, so the Dallas Mavericks lose this game, right? If they had won this game, they were going to be a half game back from the Blazers in the 6th seed, out of the play-in tournament. They would have been real close to out of the play-in tournament. And this was a game, Tim Hardaway said it. He said, I don't know if you guys saw, but the Blazers lost to the Clippers, and we were going to be real close to, we really needed this win, right? He seemed so mad after the game.
Breaking news, they do watch the standings.
Yes. Yeah. NBA players do, right? Tim Hardaway brought it up. Carlisle has mentioned in the past that they don't look at the standings. I think that's BS, right? We'll call it when we see it. But we got to talk about Kristaps Porzingis because he had a solid game, statistically, right? 23 points, 10 of 19 from the floor, 2 of 4 from 3, only hit 1 free throw that he took, 12 rebounds, 3 of them on the offensive end. He was a minus 19 for the game, though. When he was out there, they were really kind of sucking wind, and it was mostly those second units, that kind of stuff. But the Mavericks get down.
No, I was just going to say, you're talking about his numbers, and his fourth quarter was what we'll talk about. What he was asked about after the game. But when you look at his numbers for the entire game, basically that was for 3 quarters, because in the fourth quarter, he played right at 7 minutes, had 0 shot attempts, zero free throws, 0 assists, 0 block. Everything was 0 across the board except for 1 rebound in the fourth quarter.
Fouls.
Yeah, and I'm not putting that all on KP, but I think there's a lot of to blame to go around on that, of getting him shots, but also his side too. And so it's definitely a storyline coming out of this game.
Yeah, like Isaac said, no shot attempts in the fourth quarter for Porzingis. So that really stands out. And the Mavericks got this game. They were, down double digits at one point, but with about, let's see, what was it? It was a couple minutes left in the fourth quarter. And the Mavericks it was tied 89-89 in the fourth. And after that, the Rockets go on a 9-0 run. And that was it, right? Another clutch win gets taken from the hands of the Mavericks, right? It was 2 minutes and 35 seconds. Luka had hit a bank shot. They were tied 89-89. You're like, oh yeah, here they go. This is this Mavericks team that we've been talking about. This is this team that closes out games. We just talked about it yesterday. This Mavericks team is, mature now. They've gotten to a point where they can, and the answer to that is, and why did the Mavericks break down in this one? It's on Luka. Everything rises and falls on Luka, and Luka sucked in this game, right? Like, can we just call it how it is? He just did not play well, and he admitted it afterwards. He said everybody can play a bad game, which I don't know. Is that an answer you want to hear? It's the answer you got from Luka. It's true. Everybody has a bad game. He was 9 of 26 from the field, 1 of 9 from 3, 4 of 5 from the free throw line, 9 boards, only 5 assists in this game, and 5 turnovers. He had only 23 points in this game. So when Luka's not good to great, this team can't win games, even against the Rockets. Yeah. And nobody else really helped him out either, right? Like Brunson helped a little bit, but yeah, he didn't get much help anywhere else.
And that's what I was going to mention too. I mean, what a difference. You go from, that Utah game to where Josh Richardson hits, 5 threes in that game. And, we're seeing, shots from all these other guys. And
the Josh Richardson experience these last 2 games, right? 5 threes in the last game against the Jazz, 0 of 9, 0 for 9 from the field in this game. Like, just the complete spectrum of Josh Richardson shooting.
Yeah, I mean, consistency is one of the biggest things, for this team and for the role players. I would say specifically is just what are you going to get? You can't really answer that question every single night of like, what are you going to get for sure? Some of these things that you can get, like Luka's gonna create shots for other guys. That Dorian is going to work his butt off, every single time he's on the floor. KP's going to shoot the ball when he's open. Like, there's some things that are absolutes that will happen. But I think the list of the uncertain, things, the list of things that you don't know for sure it's going to happen is much larger than the things that you do know that will happen. And I think that's one of the bigger problems for this team. And when you look at bigger storylines that we'll zoom out on at the end of the season, you look at a couple, Jalen Brunson's rise, I think it will be it has been and will continue to be a big storyline for the Mavericks this season. But also on the other end of that spectrum is the Josh Richardson experience too, because a lot of us thought it would be so much better. And it hasn't been absolutely bad, but we just thought it would be so much better than what it has been. And it's just a lot of.
Well, if you put it like that, it has been bad. It's been bad compared to our expectations, right? But it hasn't been. He's not like a below NBA level caliber player, right? Like, it depends. It's relative to what expectations you had coming in. If you thought he was going to be an all defensive player, then he has been bad, right? He's not that. We didn't think he was going to be that. We thought he'd be a little bit better, than Seth Curry was for sure, but maybe take some shooting, but add some defense, all that kind of stuff. So, Mavericks had 101 offensive rating according to Cleaning the Glass in this game. That's bad. It's real bad. It's insanely bad for this Mavericks team. Really, really bad. So, by the way, this episode is brought to you by Locker Room. Download the app and join us on Thursday. So today, if you're listening to this or watching this on YouTube on Thursday, join us on a Locker Room conversation, and we will go download the app and use the promo code, or not use the promo code. Follow me at Nick Van Exit, and you want
to do it at halftime?
Notifications. We could do it at halftime. We can do it pregame. I was thinking pregame.
Okay, sometime tomorrow.
Sometime tomorrow. That's why I said follow me and then put the notifications on so that you know when we go live.
Do that. Follow Nick.
While you're on YouTube, hit the notification button. Subscribe.
Hit subscribe below, right here.
We're such influencers now. All right, so coming up, let's hear from Kristaps Porzingis. You have to watch his face, see what he's saying. So watch us on YouTube at this point in the podcast. So coming up, we'll get into Kristaps Porzingis, talk about why he didn't get shots down the stretch, what the deal was, and all that. And we'll hear from Porzingis coming up. But before we do, got to tell you about Headspace. Headspace is an app that'll help you fall asleep. I need help falling asleep. I get to the end of my day and I'm like, I just need something to help me fall asleep. And it's the one place that can actually help you get there. Whatever the situation, Headspace can really help you feel better. If you're overwhelmed, they have 3-minute SOS meditations for you. I'm in the process of buying a place and trying to move, and all this stuff is just stressful. So I need Headspace to help me through that. Headspace is backed by 25 published studies on its benefits, 600,000 5-star reviews, and over 60 million downloads. You deserve to feel happy and feel better. Headspace is meditation made simple. Go to headspace.com/LockedOnNBA. That's headspace.com/LockedOnNBA for a free 1-month trial with access to Headspace's full library of meditations for every situation. Download the Headspace app. Again, headspace.com/LockedOnNBA. Also want to tell you about rockauto.com. It's a one-stop shop to get parts for your car or truck. Even if you want to put a hitch on a Kia Niro. If you want to do that, you can. Isaac might make fun of me if I did it. But let me just paint a picture for you. RockAuto.com has all the parts for your car or truck. You can go and check it out. You can look right now. Let's say I had a Chrysler. All the years available for Chrysler. All the way back to 1926. There's no way they have parts from 1926.
Why not?
It says it. Boom.
My great-grandfather still drives a car.
Still has this car, a 1926 Chrysler?
Yeah.
They have a...
it wasn't even a Chrysler 300 back then. It was like a Chrysler 80.
A spark plug that'll fit into a 1926 Chrysler. They have wiper blades that will fit in 1926 Chrysler. They have brake pedal pads that'll fit in a 1926 Chrysler. So you never know what you could find on rockauto.com. Go check it out. Their prices are always low, and they're reliably low. The same for professionals and do-it-yourselfers. Why would you want to spend up to twice as much for the same parts? Go to rockauto.com. Use that. Write down Locked On, and they're how did you hear about us box, and know that we sent you amazing selection, reliably low prices, all the parts your car will ever need. rockauto.com. Get all the sports news you need in under 20 minutes with the Locked On Today podcast. Host Peter Bukowski updates you on the latest news in every major sport with the help of our local experts. Follow Locked On Today podcast on the Odyssey app or wherever you get podcasts. All right, Isaac Harris, let me tell you about Kristaps Porzingis. He has a case to be upset after this game, right? We've talked about, well, he's got to put himself in better position. Well, he's got to hit the shots when he does get shots. Well, he's got to take more efficient shots. In this game, Luka missed him a bunch at the beginning. It felt like in the second half, he was looking for him more, trying to get him set up with a shot more. But he was the only guy that shot over 50% besides Brunson. And he didn't get any shots in the fourth quarter. You got to do better than that. You got to do better than just chucking up threes in the fourth quarter, especially against this team, this Rockets team that fouled their way out of a easy win for them, right? Like the only reason the Mavericks came back in the fourth quarter is because the Rockets just started fouling like crazy and got into the bonus with like 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter, which was just absolutely wild. So you have to attack. And Tim Hardaway was chucking up threes. Luka was chucking up threes. They had to do something better than that. And Porzingis is not going to help you get foul shots, right? Necessarily. He can at some points, but they got to do better than what they did.
Yeah, Dallas is, 10 of 39 from three tonight. Not very good. It's 25%. KP, and he had 19 shot attempts in the game, which was second on the team behind Luka's 26. And, those 19 shots came through, in three quarters, obviously. Yeah, it was just weird because we seen KP hit so many shots in those, first three quarters. I mean, he had 23 points in the game, same amount as Luka, and he didn't score at all in the fourth. So I do get where he's coming from, and I do get his frustration on that of wanting, the ball more in those shots. It's just the context around everything that, I think if somebody just, flew in for this game and just saw everything and was like, dang, what's good? All that. It's like, there's so much context.
It's that chunky guy shooting the ball so much.
Well, it's just this context of the whole season.
Are you saying aliens, or are you saying people that actually knew like who the people on this team was?
Well, I'm not talking about Space Jam.
You're saying flying in. If you're saying flying in, are you talking about like aliens that didn't know who any of these players are? Or are you talking about...
Sure. Yes, we'll go with the alien route.
Yeah, they'd be real confused why the chunky kid was shooting up so many shots.
But no, it's just I definitely see how he could be frustrated coming out of this game. And the whole storyline this season about KP's fit and beyond the health stuff, which we'll talk about that in just a sec, because he answered that question, and it was but
we got to get into it.
But just the whole, like, his shot attempts, where he gets his shots. I mean, we could spend a whole segment on the things that he's talked about in post game, playing the five, how he likes playing the five instead of the four, his minute rotations, and wanting to, they're finding his rhythm in the game and getting his shots when he first started coming back from his injury and getting up, him saying, he's like, I was just trying to get up shots, I can get back in the game. And
And this is the stuff he's told us. This is just the stuff he said publicly.
Yeah, and how long ago was it? A few months ago when he's like, yeah, I'm telling you guys because I've already told, the coaching staff. So it's not like I'm telling you guys or, anything new for them. So I think for me, it was just another kind of, I'm going to store this away. Another, chapter in the book this season because his response, his facial response and stuff in that, he said it wasn't the first time that this has happened. So that he's had those conversations before.
Here we go. Let's hear from Kristaps Porzingis. This is 2 different questions from Tim McMahon and then from Chuck Cooperstein, who you guys will all know. Here it is.
Hey, KP, why do you think you weren't able to get involved offensively in the fourth quarter?
Good question. It's just the plays we were running. Happened before also.
Coop?
Hey, KP, number one, how's your wrist? And number two, were you told by the doctors anything about the wrist that that allowed you to play tonight? That it's just one of those things you're going to basically have to deal with the rest of the season. That you can't hurt it anymore? Can you give us a kind of an update on that?
It felt good. It feels good now. I think that's something I will deal with at the end of the season, in the off season. So for now, I'll just try to go as much as I can, and hopefully it holds up.
The pause he took after, the question that Tim McMahon asked, why he was not involved more in the fourth quarter, and when he said it's happened before, to me, either that was it's happened before in this game or it's happened before in fourth quarters where I didn't get the ball before, right? Like it's either one of those two, and it's probably the latter, right? It's probably the one where I haven't been involved late in other games before. And man, that's where you start looking at. We've been looking at everything in a microscope. Do Luka and KP, do they shake hands? Do they high five? Do they do all these things, right? Like, do they get excited for each other? Is Porzingis excited after a game where the Mavs win, but he doesn't necessarily play that well, right? We've been microscoping every single comment he makes. That's the one that sticks out to me is, Luka, give me the ball, right? Like, get me the ball. You got to do better at that. And yeah, that's one of the first comments that really stuck out to me is like calling out Luka in a way.
Yeah, well, I don't know if it's all on Luka though. I will say that because even he said that. I think there's a lot of blame to go around for why KP didn't get the ball. I think he deserves some of it too for why he didn't, get the ball and get some shots. I think, like he said it was about plays being called. Was it something, doing with plays being called? Was it something with Luka, who has the ball in his hands the most? Luka had, I think, 8 shot attempts in the fourth quarter. But he's clearly frustrated. There's no way around that. There's no way to not spin it, that direction. There is no spin. He's very open about his emotions. He shared so much with us this season, like we said. Even Rick Carlisle after the game, I think it was Eddie who asked Rick, said, hey, this is a frustrating night for KP, blah, blah, blah. And Rick said, yeah, it was. He's like, and there's like nothing more I can really add to that. So everybody knows that KP is frustrated with how the end of that game went. What changes moving forward, if anything, that will be the thing to watch. And is especially frustrating from a Mavericks standpoint because you want every game, but when they're playing both of these guys on the first night of back-to-back against a team that sucks, and they lose that game, it's extra frustrating because now they go and play the Bucks at home, and the Bucks are obviously a much better team.
Yeah, I'm going to share this article. Istok Franco, I'm probably pronouncing his name wrong, but he's listened to the pod in the past. A really great article on how the Dallas Mavericks offense works. And this is a quote that really stuck out to me. Carlisle said about this team, I don't want us to be a play calling team. I don't want us to be a team that can create. I want us to be a team that can create problems for the opponents by playing out of concepts. Yeah. I don't think the Mavericks are running plays at the end of this. Porzingis kind of, in that comment, he said, it's just the plays we are running. I think that was a complete, just Euro step of that question, right? Like just a complete jump around, a complete avoiding of that question, because they're not running plays. They're just like, Luka gets the ball, you run around. The concept is, let's space the floor, let's get some penetration, let's kick out to shooters, right? It's not like they were running, Iverson cut here, you come down, set a pin down, all that kind of stuff. So it was in the flow of the offense. And that's why you're seeing these like Tim Hardaway Jr. jack up threes, Luka jack up threes. And so I'm going to call BS and just say that Porzingis was kind of trying to be nice and not fully go straight for the neck on Luka, but I'm reading between the lines here. And in the comments on YouTube, let me know if I'm reading too far into the
I'm sure they will. It's also kind of that I remember when Rick said that quote, because my ears perked up on it, because it shows a little bit of the evolution of Rick Carlisle. Because what was one of the big sticking points between Rick Carlisle and Rondo, or even going back to some of the Jason Kidd days? It was Rick's control over play calling and the offense and all this stuff. And to hear Rick say that, after that game, or I forgot what media session he said that in, I was like, oh, okay. It's really cool to hear Rick, admit that he's kind of evolved in that, of when you have a generational talent like Luka and ball handler and point guard, that he does give him a lot of freedom to do what he wants. So whether it's bullcrap or not, that, KP, however he wanted to word that, but I don't have anything else to add.
Coming up and talk more about this game, break down some of the things that maybe went right for the Mavericks. Maybe there may be some, maybe we'll talk more about that coming up. But before we do, betonline.ag is the fastest and easiest way to put some money down on some sports. If you want to check it out, go to betonline.ag and you can find all kinds of stuff on this website. Just check out the sports section. Go to sports. You can check out NFL. Do they have futures? Do they have draft stuff? They do have draft stuff. Do they have any Cowboy stuff? First pick in the draft, Trevor Lawrence, minus 10,000. That's pretty wild to me. Minus 10,000. Zach Wilson plus 1,200 to be the first overall pick. That's hilarious. That's a hilarious prop bet right there. Why did you even put that on there? Let's check out what NBA games they have on. They have Portland versus Utah. Portland is a 7-point underdog, so the Mavericks might not be totally screwed with the 6th spot in the standings if they're playing Utah next. But anyway, go to betonline.ag, put that promo code locked on, and get a 50% welcome bonus with your first deposit. BetOnline, your online sportsbook experts. Get more analysis on the top prospects available in this year's NBA draft with the Locked On NBA Draft Podcast. Great stuff, scattering reports, draft rumors, mock drafts, and full coverage of everything from credentialed draft experts. Follow Locked On NBA Draft Podcast on the Odyssey app, wherever you get your podcasts. All right, Isaac Harris, outside of Porzingis and Luka, what things stuck out to you? I think we mentioned Josh Richardson, 0 of 9 from the field. What can we expect from Josh Richardson, right? Like, what can you count on him to do, it seems like? Because any given night, I hoped that he would be a Swiss Army knife type player where some nights he's going to defend the best guard. Some nights he's going to, be a roamer and be able to grab steals. Some nights he's going to have like 6 assists, right? And he had 4 in this game, but some nights he's going to be able to make some plays off the bench. Some nights he's going to be able to, hit 5 threes. And I guess it's true, but you just don't know which one of those things it's going to be on any given night, right? That's the problem.
Yeah, well, it just goes back to consistency for him. Not to go back to that point. That's just the main thing. And we don't know. I mean, some nights we could get into the playoffs and Jay Rich wins them a playoff game. I mean, he could hit 5 threes like he did, against Utah the other night. And we're like, dang, let's go. He had, 23 points in the game and he helped Dallas win. I think for Dorian went 3 of 6 from 3 tonight. 50% from threes, again.
And he was huge in those rebounds. And like, he does so many things that are like in the trenches or some stuff that you would say is like, doesn't show up in the box score, that kind of stuff. He's just so big in those kind of moments. And that's where, like, I think I talked a little while ago about, could Josh Green start getting some Dorian Finney-Smith minutes? Like, Josh Green doesn't do some of this stuff, right? Like 7 boards, one of them offensive for Dorian. He got an assist, a couple steals, and a block. He just does a lot of little things around the edges that you really need, and a role player really has to do. And I thought he was pretty good. Besides, he had a couple like really weird. He's been doing this like once a game now, where he has weird like pull-up shots. It's usually at the end of the shot clock, but he'll just pull something up. He got completely stuffed on a play in this game, but We
For
did
any
get
of you
Josh
out,
Green minutes.
yes, we got Josh Green minutes and Nate Hinton minutes, and we still lost.
How have we not talked about that yet?
Nate Hinton?
Yes.
Yeah, because you're going to put this guy in because we need some type of boost of effort. I mean,
100%.
like Tim Hardaway said it best after the game. He said they outworked us from the very beginning to the very end. Like that was the story of the game. Like Houston just wanted it more. It kind of reminded me a little bit of Baylor and Gonzaga. It's like from the opening tip, Houston just seemed like they wanted it more the entire game. And
Houston hit 17 more threes, which Baylor hit more threes than Gonzaga did too in that game.
17 more. Oh no,
seven more threes. Sorry, they hit 17 total, 7 threes more than the Mavericks.
Kelly Olynyk,
18 boards. What is
past former ex-Mav? Kind of no.
He's so physical of a player. Like you just forget. You look at him and he just looks like a goofy dude, and you're like, oh,
Kevin
you forget
Love's like, I do not forget that.
No, Kevin Love doesn't forget it. There's many players probably don't forget it. But yeah, he's just such a physical guy. He had an incredible game. 10 points, 18 boards, 3 assists, 2 steals, and 2 blocks.
Kelly Olynyk, Christian Wood combined for 28 rebounds tonight. The starting front court for Houston.
Yeah, and the Mavericks didn't get out-rebounded that bad. It was 49-46. No. It was not like it was such a huge deficit. But here's the thing that I want to point out as far as stats-wise. The Mavericks shot 38% from the field, 37.9%. They went 33 of 87 and only got 11 offensive boards. Like, that's huge, right? So you look at that and you're like, oh, well, they had so many chances to get offensive boards. Like on cleaning the glass, they have a number called offensive rebound percentage. The Mavericks, 23.2% offensive rebound percentage. That's way below average for a normal team or a normal night. So they were missing a bunch and they weren't getting their own shots either. So that's like a huge, huge thing. They also only had 7 second chance points. So like you had 11 offensive rebounds, 7 second, and most of those offensive rebounds came in that one play in the first half when it was like Josh Green and Melly and Dwight Powell and Luka and Brunson out there, and they had like 4 offensive rebounds in one possession. It took them like a full minute for that whole possession. They still missed the shot at the end. Like Josh Green had an air ball of a 3 in that play. Like they didn't get a lot of their own misses, and you have to do that. You have to get it. They missed Maxey for sure. I mean, we haven't talked about him yet. He didn't play in this game.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say a while ago. If
you know, what they also missed was Willie Cauley-Stein probably in this game too. To be honest, he could have played.
Yeah.
Just a big guy out there to just be long, right? Like they just
to close out on Christian Wood. I mean, Wood had 5 threes in this game. So, what was I gonna say? Oh, the Melly stuff and Maxey. If you were one of those people that were like, "Hey, Melly should start over Maxey," no, not at all.
And we're excited about Melly still, but it's not like, and we think he could be in a rotation spot, but not like 25 minutes a game rotation spot, right?
No,
like, come in, give him 7 minutes here, give him a shift there, you know, like he's not that type of guy. He had energy in this game, obviously, but not great.
And another underlying story of this game too is they just played really good defense against Dallas, and if there's somebody that knows how to play against Dallas, it's freaking Steven Silas.
Yeah, right.
So it's like I didn't expect this game to be a blowout. I expected Dallas to win, definitely, but yeah, a guy as smart as Steven Silas, you know, on an opposing team who's been with this Dallas team and coached, you know, with Luka Doncic and stuff before, I expected them to play, you know, Dallas really well. I just thought Dallas would win by, you know, like 10. And
how did they do it? They were real physical with Luka.
Yeah, we're gonna see that bringing traps at time.
We're gonna see that more and more. How many times did Luka like almost lose a dribble because 3 guys were like had hands right?
They cut the crap out of Dallas. I mean, how many times did Luka, Melly, you insert whoever it was? They just got beat, and they were just running guys, cutting to the basket and just hitting them. And a lot of that just goes to hustle, and they just hustled all night. Houston did.
And how much was it? It hurt because it was against the Mavs, but how cool was it to see John Wall still be good, right? Like,
no,
not at all. Not even like to think about all the stuff he went through.
The injury, okay, yeah,
right. Just like
sure,
it's cool to see a guy play well after going through all that stuff, getting sent to this trash team, right? Like all this. He had 31 points, 7 assists, 4 steals in this game. He was like yelling and screaming, like
I thought he was going to jump up on the scoreboard.
Are you going to jump up on the scorers table? crazy.
yeah, we just got our 13th win.
We're not the worst team in the NBA. Yeah.
Real quick, where's Houston going? What are they? What do they do? Are they the new Kings like moving forward, or I just don't know what they do.
I'm going to tell you where they're going right now.
But like
they're going to tankathon.com. I just pulled it up on the stream. This is where they're going. They need this pick that they have is top 4 protected. And so if they don't land in that top 4, they're screwed.
Well, tonight didn't help.
Boom.
For
they
them.
didn't. They got 5th in the Tankathon simulation I just did. And OKC gets their pick. Oh, this is Ryland Styles like wet dream right here. I'm gonna screenshot it for him. OKC gets the 1st and 5th pick in this draft.
That would be so much fun to see Poku with Cade and Jalen Suggs or something. But
tomorrow, the Dallas Mavericks, or today, Thursday, if you're listening and watching to this, the Dallas Mavericks play the Milwaukee Bucks. We will see if Giannis plays. He did not play in the last game, so we're really interested to see that. We're going to be joined by Kane Pittman of Locked On Bucks. When you listen to it, just understand he is going to talk a little funny. So just understand he talks a little different than all of us. He's from Australia. He's great. Love him. Really good Locked On Bucks show. He'll join us for the post game. So guys, we'll be on Locker Room. So follow Nick Van Exit and put on notifications. We will be back. Thanks for watching us on YouTube. Subscribe.
Follow us on YouTube. Let's do it.
Guys, thanks so much for listening to Locked On Mavs.
Peace out.
Boom.